They told you millionaires were lucky. They told you they were born into wealth, that they had secret doors opened for them by invisible hands you could never reach. They whispered the same old lullaby, "It's not for people like us." And you believed them because the world conditioned you to. You believed wealth was a birthright, not a build right. You believed you needed connections, elite schools, or generational fortune to stand a chance. But here's the truth they never want you to hear. Most millionaires weren't born wealthy. They were forged. Forged in silence while the world doubted them. Forged in solitude while others partied. Forged in the fire of obsession while everyone else chased comfort. They didn't wait for a lucky break. They created opportunity with their bare hands, their restless minds, and their relentless will. The real difference between you and them isn't talent. It isn't luck. It's belief. They believed in the power of possibility when everyone else surrendered to reality. They rewired their thinking, reshaped their habits, and rebuilt their lives brick by brick until the world had no choice but to call them successful. And now, it's your turn to break the illusion. Because if they did it from nothing, from chaos, from broken homes and empty pockets, then you can too. But first, you must be willing to question everything you've ever been told about wealth. Understand this. Wealth is not about money. That sounds paradoxical, but it's the most powerful shift you'll ever make. The millionaire lifestyle you see on screens, the cars, the mansions, the luxury vacations, those are not the source of wealth. They are the byproducts. Real wealth begins in the mind. It's a mindset that says, I will build value before I demand rewards. It's the ability to delay gratification, to plant seeds when everyone else is picking fruit, to stay focused when everyone else is chasing distractions. The wealthy live by a different clock. They think in decades, not days. While others look for the fastest route to cash, they look for the deepest roots of value. They study industries while others scroll social media. They build networks while others waste nights. They invest when fear is loudest and harvest when the world least expects it. This isn't luck, it's discipline disguised as destiny. Every millionaire has walked through boredom, failure, doubt, and rejection that would make most people quit 10 times over. But they stayed. They stayed when results were invisible. They stayed when nobody applauded. That's why they have what they have. Not because they were chosen, but because they refused to choose average. That's the foundation of their world, and it's where yours must begin. Before you can build wealth, you must destroy the poverty mindset. This isn't about income, it's about identity. A poverty mindset convinces you that money is scarce, that success is reserved for other people, that you must trade your time for survival rather than your mind for freedom. It keeps you small, obedient, and dependent. The wealthy reject this. They see money as abundant, ideas as infinite, and time as their most valuable currency. They don't chase paychecks. They build systems that print them. They don't work harder just to earn more. They work smarter to earn forever. While the average person spends what they earn and saves what's left, the wealthy invest first, spend last, and never let emotion control their financial decisions. They treat every dollar like an employee, a worker that must bring back more workers. This is how they escape the trap of trading hours for income. Their wealth grows even while they sleep. And here's the revelation. They started with the same fear you feel now. The only difference? They moved through it. They took the leap while their hands were shaking. They acted before they felt ready. And that single act, courage, set them on a path that changed their bloodline forever. That's what you must do now. Kill the old mindset. Build a new one. Step boldly into the unknown, because that's where your fortune is waiting. The world you see is not the world as it is. It's the world filtered through your beliefs. Millionaires know this. They've mastered perception. While most people see obstacles, they see opportunities wrapped in work clothes. While most see risk, they see potential. They've trained their minds to interpret reality through a lens of possibility, not fear. This is why they move when others freeze, why they build when others panic, why they grow when others crumble. The average person waits for perfect conditions, but the wealthy know conditions are created, not found. They launch before they're ready. They iterate while others hesitate. They expect failure, extract lessons from it, and rise stronger. This is how they compound success while everyone else stands still. And it all begins in silence, in the invisible hours when nobody is watching. That's when they read, study, strategize, plan. While the world is asleep, they are building the foundations of empires in notebooks, whiteboards, and late-night conversations with like-minded builders. They understand that momentum is invisible before it becomes undeniable. That the first bricks you lay may feel meaningless until they form the walls of a castle. So, while others wait for permission, they give themselves permission. While others beg for certainty, they build it. This is the hidden truth. Wealth is created in obscurity and only celebrated in public. If you want to live like a millionaire, you must first be willing to grind like one in the dark. You don't become wealthy by copying what millionaires have. You become wealthy by learning how they think. Emulating their purchases will make you broke, but emulating their principles will make you free. The real millionaire lifestyle is not the luxury you see. It's the discipline you don't. It's waking up when nobody demands it, pushing forward when nobody believes it, and sacrificing short-term comfort for long-term power. It's choosing growth over gossip, reading over scrolling, creating over consuming. They build brands, businesses, assets, and systems that work while they rest. They buy back their time. They make their money work harder than they do. That's why they seem relaxed while everyone else is exhausted. Their income doesn't depend on their presence. But this freedom wasn't given to them. It was earned through years of invisible labor. Every early morning, every lonely night, every failure they absorbed without flinching, it compounded. And when it finally broke through the surface, the world called it overnight success. But they know the truth. And now, so do you. This is where your journey begins with a decision. A decision to stop admiring wealth from afar and start constructing it from within. A decision to stop asking, how did they do it? And start declaring, I will do it. Because the first step toward becoming a millionaire is daring to think like one. Wealth is not built in explosions of luck. It's carved slowly, silently, through relentless daily rituals. Millionaires understand something most people ignore. Success is not an event, it's a rhythm. It's not one massive win, but thousands of microscopic victories stacked daily. While others wake up reacting to life, the wealthy wake up to design it. Their mornings are sacred, not wasted on chaos, but built on clarity. They rise before the world makes demands on them. They begin with silence, with reflection, with intentionality. Some meditate to command their thoughts. Others journal to sharpen their vision. Many read to feed their minds before the noise of the world can pollute them. While the average person scrambles out of bed, drowning in notifications and stress, millionaires create a calm fortress in the first hour of their day. They protect their energy like treasure because they know it fuels everything they build. They don't start with urgency. They start with alignment. They ask, who do I need to become today to build the life I dream of? That question shapes their hours. And as those hours stack, they become years, and those years become empires. Because greatness doesn't begin when the world is watching. It begins in the dark, quiet moments when nobody cares and nobody claps. It begins in the sacred ritual of choosing growth before the world can choose distraction for you. After the morning calm, millionaires switch into creation mode. They operate with brutal focus. Where most people scatter their energy across dozens of tasks, the wealthy cut away everything non-essential. They understand the law of leverage, that 80% of results come from 20% of actions, so they guard their focus like gold. Their calendars are shields, not cages. They batch similar tasks, automate what can be automated, delegate what drains their energy, and spend the bulk of their time in their zone of genius. The work only they can do, the work that multiplies their impact. They schedule thinking time because they know ideas print money. They turn off distractions because they know attention is the new currency. While others multitask into mediocrity, millionaires concentrate into mastery. They measure days not by hours worked, but by progress made. And here's the hidden truth. Most of their breakthroughs don't come from working harder. They come from removing noise, from saying no 100 times for every yes, from building a life so focused that success becomes inevitable. This is what separates them from the frantic crowd. They aren't busy, they are productive. And productivity, repeated long enough, compounds into power. Another weapon in the millionaire arsenal is their obsession with health. It shocks many people, but the wealthy see their bodies as their ultimate asset. They train like athletes, not for vanity, but for vitality. They understand that without energy, every goal becomes heavier, every decision slower, every idea duller. So they eat clean, hydrate constantly, and move daily, not as trends, but as non-negotiables. Morning workouts sharpen their minds, regulate their emotions, and anchor their discipline. They know that when they push their bodies beyond comfort, their minds follow. This is why they seem tireless while everyone else fades. Their energy is engineered. They also prioritize sleep, not as laziness, but as strategy. They respect recovery as much as hustle because they know a burnout mind prints no ideas. To them, health is not an expense. It's an investment that pays compound interest in productivity, creativity, and longevity. And here's the lesson. While most chase wealth at the cost of their health, millionaires build wealth by protecting their health. Because they know the truth. Energy is the engine of empire. Guard it, fuel it, and it will carry you further than talent ever could. Millionaires also build their lives around learning. They are obsessive students of the game. They read more in a year than most read in a decade. They devour biographies, strategies, psychology, finance, marketing, philosophy, anything that sharpens their competitive edge. They treat their minds like software that must constantly be upgraded. While others coast on what they already know, the wealthy live in permanent beta, always improving, always evolving. They attend seminars, hire mentors, join masterminds, and surround themselves with people who stretch their thinking. They ask questions more than they give answers. They listen twice as much as they speak. And because they never stop learning, they never stop growing. This habit alone is a wealth machine. Every book, every podcast, every conversation compounds into sharper decisions, faster pivots, and bolder moves. That's why they seem to predict the future. They're simply better prepared for it. The average person stops learning when school ends. The millionaire begins learning the moment school ends. This hunger separates the wealthy from the weary, because the world belongs to those who outlearn everyone else. Finally, millionaires master the habit of reflection. They don't just work hard. They pause to ask if their work is working. Every week, they review their wins, losses, and lessons. They dissect what created results and what drained time. They track their habits like scientists, refining their systems like engineers. This habit keeps them agile, focused, and relentless. While most drift through life reacting, they course correct with precision. Reflection protects them from stagnation. It forces growth. It keeps their vision clear and their execution sharp. Because without reflection, hustle becomes chaos. But with reflection, hustle becomes strategy. And this is their secret weapon. They don't just run faster. They run smarter. They aren't just busy climbing. They make sure the ladder is against the right wall. And as the world wonders how they keep rising, the answer is simple. They never stop adjusting. They never stop upgrading. They never stop auditing their lives. And that is why their momentum becomes unstoppable, because they live by design, not by default. Wealth is not an accident. It is engineered. Millionaires do not rely on single paychecks. They build ecosystems of income that feed each other like gears in a machine. While the average person lives on one stream of income, the wealthy build many. Some call it diversification, but it's deeper than that. It's architecture. Their money doesn't just sit. It works, multiplies, and brings back recruits. They use active income as a launching pad from their careers, businesses, or skills, but they never stop there. They reinvest that income into assets that generate more income without their daily effort. Real estate, stocks, online businesses, royalties, intellectual property, automated systems. This is how they break free from the trap of trading time for money. They build machines that print while they sleep. And while most chase income to spend, they chase income to reinvest. They see every dollar as a seed that can either be eaten now or planted to grow a forest later. The wealthy always choose the forest. And that mindset alone is what pulls them out of survival and into sovereignty. One of the most powerful engines millionaires build is business ownership. They understand that true wealth rarely comes from salaries. It comes from systems. When you work for someone else, your income is capped by their valuation of your time. When you build your own enterprise, your income is capped only by your imagination. That's why millionaires are builders. They start ventures, launch brands, and create platforms that serve thousands or millions of people. They focus on value creation, solving painful problems, fulfilling deep desires, or delivering convenience at scale. They know that money chases value like gravity, and they build teams to multiply their efforts, freeing themselves from the bottleneck of doing everything alone. While most fear the risk of entrepreneurship, millionaires fear the risk of dependency. They would rather bet on their vision than on someone else's paycheck. And here's the paradox. The very act of building a business forces them to become the kind of person who can handle wealth. It forces them to learn sales, marketing, leadership, resilience, and creativity. The business is not just a money machine. It is a transformation engine. It turns dreamers into builders. Another core strategy of the wealthy is investing. They don't chase quick flips or gamble on hype. They invest with discipline. They understand that money is a tool, and compounding is its magic. While the average person spends what they earn and saves what's left, millionaires invert the order. They invest first, spend last. They treat investing like a ritual, not a reaction. They build portfolios that generate cash flow, dividend-paying stocks, index funds, bonds, rental properties, startups, digital assets. They study markets, not as gamblers, but as architects of long-term growth. And they think in decades, not days. They ride out storms because they know volatility is temporary and growth is inevitable for the patient. This is how they multiply their wealth quietly while others panic. They automate contributions, reinvest profits, and let time do the heavy lifting. And they don't just invest money, they invest attention. They stay informed, adaptable, and strategic. Because they know that the real power of investing isn't the returns, it's the freedom it creates. Freedom to choose how to spend your days, who to work with, and what to build next. And that freedom is priceless. Millionaires also understand the power of scalability. They design their income streams to grow without equally growing their effort. This is why so many of them leverage digital assets and automation. They build online courses, membership sites, software platforms, affiliate systems, e-commerce stores, or licensing deals, products that can be sold 1,000 times without extra work. They use technology to clone their effort. One video can teach millions. One digital product can sell while they sleep. One automated funnel can convert strangers into customers forever. They obsess over leverage, how to do something once and benefit from it endlessly. This is the opposite of the linear income trap, where hours equal dollars. Millionaires break that link. They build exponential systems. They create intellectual property once and collect royalties for decades. They record their knowledge once and let it scale across the globe. They build machines that grow while their calendars stay empty. That's the real flex, not working harder, but working once and profiting forever. While the world glorifies hustle, the wealthy glorify leverage. And leverage is how they bend time in their favor. But perhaps the most underrated engine millionaires build is financial discipline. It doesn't matter how much you earn if you can't keep it. The wealthy treat money with reverence. They track it, plan it, respect it. They budget not from scarcity, but from strategy. Every dollar has a job, and waste is the enemy. They live below their means even when their means explode. They delay lifestyle inflation until their systems are bulletproof. They know flashy spending destroys silent compounding. While others spend to impress, they save to invest. They avoid toxic debt like a disease, using leverage only when it accelerates growth. And they build war chests of cash for downturns, so they can buy when fear is high and prices are low. This discipline is invisible from the outside, but it is the foundation of their fortunes. Because wealth is not about what you earn, it's about what you keep, what you grow, and what you protect. And millionaires are masters of protection. They don't chase rich, they build wealth. Quietly, patiently, and relentlessly. And that is why, while the world celebrates their lifestyles, they are busy expanding their empires.